KCCI 8 News starts right now with breaking news.
Right now, we are cutting into program to bring you breaking news. The remains of 2 Iowa National Guard soldiers have returned home to Iowa.
Staff Sergeants Nate Howard of Marshalltown and Edgar Torres Tovar of Des Moines were killed in an ambush on December 13th in Syria. Their dignified transfers of their remains is happening right now.
The families are in attendance. This is a private and solemn event. We have chosen not to show the families out of deep and profound respect.
We're going to give you a live look from the airport. At this moment, we're going to take a moment of silence as the dignified transfer begins.
They are home. You've been watching the dignified transfer of 2 Iowa soldiers, National Guard Staff Sergeant Nate Howard of Marshalltown and Edgar Torres Tovar of Des Moines.
Now, you might have noticed we were zoomed in on those hearse vehicles there at the airport, and that's because we did elect not to show the families of the fallen soldiers.
They were in attendance. We also saw Governor Kim Reynolds was in attendance, along with Representative Zach Nunn and Senator Joni Ernst. The procession now begins, and that is where we find our Abigail Curtin. She is live on Fleur Drive, which we hear has got a lot of people looking to show their respects. Abigail.
Absolutely. Over the last hour, the amount of people here has grown by a lot. We're here at Grays Lake Park, and when we got here around 12:30, there was maybe 10 people here. Now there's easily over 100. A lot of them waving American flags, some of them wearing their regalia. We've had cars honking pretty much nonstop as we've been alongside the route. I spoke with some of the individuals here today earlier about what brought them out, and all of them said it just felt like the right thing to do. Some of them had been deployed in the past themselves. Others have loved ones who are currently deployed, and it was really about showing out and showing up to be Iowa nice, really kind of digging home on supporting these families at a time when they need it most. Now, we are still expecting the procession route to come by here in just a moment. We haven't seen anything yet, but like I was saying, there's a lot of people out here waiting to give these soldiers an honorable final goodbye. We'll be sure to check back in with you as soon as we have more information. In Des Moines, Abigail Curtin, KCCI 8 News, Iowa's news leader.
Abigail, we just saw the hearses getting ready to leave the tarmac, so they will see you soon. It is powerful to see how many people do want to pay their respects and say that final goodbye.
Absolutely. We've been on air now for about a half hour watching Staff Sergeant Torres Tovar and Nate Howard return home after they were killed in an attack in Syria. We saw them being lowered out of the planes by Air Force service members and then handed off to Army service members before taken to the hearse in a very powerful moment. At times you could see the ID tags right there on their casket.
Yeah, each casket had the ID tags for each soldier. And again, we were told their families were there, and there are different plans for each. So a funeral for Staff Sergeant Nate Howard is Saturday. It will take place at the Marshalltown High School Roundhouse. Visitation starts at 9.
And a visitation for Staff Sergeant Torres Tovar will take place in Des Moines on Sunday. A burial service is scheduled for Monday, but the exact time and location for services has not been announced.
And we are going to continue our coverage here on KCCI. We have Abigail Curtin live on Fleur Drive, but we also have our Marcus McIntosh live not far from where their return happened. So Marcus, that was a very powerful moment. How did it feel out there?
Alex, it's kind of hard to put into words. You couldn't see what we saw because once the families came out to the caskets, we had to turn the camera to point at the hearse out of respect for their privacy, for them allowing us to be out there. But you could hear sobs. You could see the emotion with the families touching the caskets, and it's something you could really feel that they were going through. And for them to allow us to be a part of this with them it means a lot. But it's really hard to put into words just how impactful, how emotional, and how gut-wrenching it was to watch the families slowly walk to those caskets, to watch the families touch the caskets, to hear the sobs from some of the family members and the tears in their eyes. You know, you had to see it to really understand it, but I'm trying to express it the best way I can because it was very emotional. The families allowed us to do that. The slow walk to those caskets was something that really hit me. They saw the caskets, they slowly walked to those caskets, and you could just see with every step just how difficult it was, just how much pain they were in, just the sorrow they were feeling at looking at the caskets of their loved ones, knowing they gave their lives in support of this country. So those are the words I have for it. The processional will start in just moments after everyone gets loaded into the hearses and the cars that will follow them. The Iowa Patriot Guard riders are here. They're always in support of fallen soldiers and people who've been in support of the country, so they're going to be along with that procession. So they probably won't get to where Abigail Curtin is for maybe 10, 15 minutes, if I had to guess. But just trying to sum up what happened here, it's emotional, it's heart-wrenching, you feel it in your gut. you are not the family members, but you can almost feel exactly what they're feeling at a moment like this. To have them come home from losing their lives defending the country overseas, it's just an impactful thing, and it's something, you know, I'm never going to forget, because just to look on the families' faces and to have our elected leaders, you know, Zach Nunn, Joni Ernst, and Governor Reynolds here saluting the whole time, I think that meant something to the families as well, because I saw one or two kind of glance over at them. I don't know if anything was exchanged, any smiles or anything were exchanged, but you do know that they saw the elected officials, statewide officials from here in Iowa, and I don't know if that gave them comfort. I hope it did, but we kind of have to honor the fact that they let us be a part of this with them. It kind of chokes you up, but you know, you have to understand that what these families are going through, they're in pain right now. I'm Marcus McIntosh. We're live at the 132nd Fighter Wing, Iowa Air National Guard. Let's go back to the studio to Alex and Bo.
A solemn day for those families. And Staff Sergeant Torres Tovar, just 25 years old, and Staff Sergeant Howard, just 29 years old. I think it's worth noting, in recognition of their sacrifice and service, both soldiers were posthumously promoted to rank of Staff Sergeant, and this entire journey home, they were always accompanied by a fellow Iowa National Guard member.
And that's what makes it different when you are serving and deployed overseas in the National Guard, as you are with your brothers and sisters from back home, compared to enlisting in the Army, where it could be a stranger from a different side of the country, different type of brotherhood in that.
Right, and the funeral services, we do have that information for you. So a funeral for Staff Sergeant Nate Howard is Saturday. It will take place at the Marshalltown High School Roundhouse. Visitation starts at 9.
A visitation for Staff Sergeant Torres Tovar will take place in Des Moines on Sunday. A burial service is scheduled for Monday. The exact time and location for services have not been announced.
It was an honor to bring you this important moment. This has been breaking news here on KCCI. We will return you to regular programming.